Hello, my name is Olha. I'm a nutrition counselor and I help people manage their weight by regulating their eating behavior. I'm a certified nutritionist and a personal trainer, and in my work with clients I combine knowledge of psychology of behavior change, nutrition and physical activity, physiology. Today we are talking about overeating at night, what causes it and how to solve the problem. I will list 10 reasons we overeat at night, and for each reason I give a solution. How does this problem normally present in my clients? What do they say? How do you describe it? I'm sure this will resonate with you and you will recognize yourself in these stories. So it can look like that. I come back home stressed, tired and hungry, and then I just go straight to the fridge. I cannot control myself and I bite something here and there, this and that, and then I also have my dinner and I have overly full. Or it can look like that. I sit down to eat with my family, spouse, kids. We have a lot of food on the table. It's delicious and I just cannot stop eating. Or I often miss the point when I'm full because I'm distracted by what's going on at the table. Or it can look like this. I eat my dinner and I feel that I'm already full. I have satisfied my hunger, but I cannot stop. I go for the second helping and maybe some more, and then I'm overly full and I cannot sleep well because my digestive system is overloaded, so I do not rest. Or it may even look like that. I eat my balanced dinner, I feel full, I satisfied my physical hunger, but if I do not eat something sweet, some dessert, I will not feel satisfied completely. So I desperately need something hyperpalatable, high in fat, high in sugar to feel satisfied. And such overeating has a lot of different reasons. Most clients have something in common, but everyone is unique. We all have different genetics, different upbringing, different background, experiences with food, beliefs about ourselves, different history of dieting, different metabolisms, and so much more different things are coming together and intertwine, and as a result we receive a very complex system and very unique system, and it should be targeted individually. So the advice I give you in this video may be very helpful. Something will suit you, will be helpful, something will not be applicable to you, but personalized work is the most effective. You will have the biggest improvement, the biggest results working one-to-one. Let's move on to the first reason you overeat at night. This is undereating during the daytime. Many of my clients like intermittent fasting. They skip breakfast. They also try to minimize their food intake during lunchtime, and then by the time dinner comes they are super hungry, so they even cannot satisfy their physical hunger. And this is only one reason, which is physiological out of 10 reasons I'm going to discuss with you. And then we experiment with them. They eat balanced breakfast, they satisfy their energy needs, they eat balanced lunch, they receive the nutrients, fats, carbs, protein, calories they need to function properly, to satisfy their energy needs. And then at night, when dinner comes, miracle happens. They now can control themselves. They now do not need as much food to be satisfied, to be full and happy. So if this is you, experiment, try this, maybe this will work for you. Because I would like to remind you as well that it is more beneficial to eat more during first half of the day and less during second half of the day, because this is how our metabolism works. In the first half of the day we burn more calories after eating, we're more energized, and also we are more insulin sensitive, so that fatty acids and glucose go into cells and you produce energy. At night this effect is blunted. extra fatty acids and glucose may stay circulating in your blood flow, and this is never good. Of course, this is all generalized. Some people cannot go asleep because they're hungry if they do not have full dinner. Of course, for us it's more important for our diet to be convenient and suit our lifestyle. For many people, dinner is an opportunity to connect with other people. Well, we know, the science knows that first half of the day we're more metabolically flexible, more insulin sensitive. It doesn't mean that you should blindly follow the rules. Again, we're all unique and you need to find what suits you the best. But I really encourage you to experiment with eating more for breakfast and lunch and a little bit less for dinner. And by the way, we learned to believe that if we are hungry, if we skip meals, we will overeat. This is not a rule. This is not true. You choose whether you overeat or not, but this is psychological topic. This is behavioral topic. We'll talk a little bit later about it. Second point, second reason why we overeat at night is tiredness and fatigue. We come back home tired, but we still have a lot of things to do, either to do some housework or help children do their homework, take care of our family, or maybe we need still some project at work to be finished by tomorrow's deadline. And we are tired, but we have to function, we have to work. And then, of course, we reach for food, for more food than we need. But the problem is that many of us just do not want to recognize, to validate our tiredness. Of course, the ideal scenario is to come back home, to rate our energy level from 1 to 10, and if they are low, if I feel tired, I go to the shower and I go to bed or do any other relaxing, pleasant activity. Not all of us have an opportunity to do so. As I described before, we need to keep going. As James Bond said, I do not stop when I am tired, I stop when I'm done. And this is a very toxic message. And probably we learned it from childhood, and we need to let go of it because it makes us overeat and it brings a burnout. Timely recovery, taking care of the rest is as important as being efficient at work, and this will help to be more efficient at work and at life. So what to do? You need to notice yourself, to notice how you feel, how your body feels, how your mind feels. Focus on this feeling of tiredness. Notice it, acknowledge, validate, normalize. It's normal to feel tired at the end of the day. Normalize the idea that at the same time you also want to eat emotionally to cope with this fatigue. But you also understand that extra piece of cheesecake will not help you to recover. So treat yourself with self-compassion, with care, with support. And when you feel like you would like an extra piece of chocolate, maybe fight not with the urge to have a piece of chocolate, but with this uncomfortable feeling of tiredness and fatigue. And again, if you can afford it, go and rest. Drop everything, go and rest. Because we need to satisfy our needs for the best functioning, for our mental and physical health. If you then don't have such opportunity, think how you can support yourself in this difficult situation without using food. Just shifting this focus of attention will help you to eat less. So we focus on fatigue, we do not focus on food, because food craving is caused by fatigue. The third reason we overeat at night is stress and activated sympathetic nervous system. Fight or flight mode. The stress accumulates during the day. If we do not regularly relieve this stress, we come back home really wired. And in this state, we cannot control ourselves. The parts of brain that are responsible for self-control, for rational thinking, are switched off. This is neurobiology. This is not your fault. There is nothing to be ashamed of. This is normal reaction of your organism to stress and tiredness. And our lizard brain impulsive brain is switched on. So it's much easier to act on your impulse to go and have something unhealthy. And it's much harder to think in the way, I know that this piece of chocolate will not be good for my long-term health. Therefore, I will not have it. When we are in activated state, if we are in fight or flight mode, we are not going to think this way. Or at least these thoughts will not influence our behavior. Yes, I know that, but I'm going for it. I know that it's not good for me, but I will have it. Full stop. So in this case, normally, what's going on? Food is our coping strategy, a method to relax, to calm down, to regulate our nervous system, to switch into rest and digest mode. And it is an effective coping strategy. But if you do not want to gain extra weight, it needs not to be your first coping strategy. You need to have 10 different strategies in your toolbox to be able not to run to the fridge every time you feel stressed. What else can it be? How else can you calm yourself down? It can be breathing. It can be rectangular breathing in 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, breathing out for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts. It can be 4, 7, 8 breathing. 4 counts in breath, 7 counts hold, and 8 counts out breath. Do this until you feel a little bit calmer, a little bit better. Apple Watch and I think some of Fitbits have these programs inside. They even can vibrate when you need to inhale and exhale. This can be really, really useful. It can be going for a walk. I know many people say that in this state, I just cannot go for a walk. It's too complicated. The barriers are too high, and I agree. But for some people it works. They just do not think, they know what they should do. They know they are in the state of arousal. They need to put on their shoes and just jump out and go for a walk. But this walk should be mindful, not thinking and stressing about how overloaded you are and that your boss overloaded with you with unnecessary tasks and deadline is soon and ruminating about stressful things. It should be a mindful walk, and you should be noticing your body, noticing what's going on around, smells, sounds, temperature, and so on. In this case, going for a walk will be really helpful. Some people start reading a book, some people go to the shower. Some people go to the contrast shower, cold shower, followed by warm shower. It really helps them to focus on their body, and when we focus on what is going on with our bodies, we calm down. This is a really good method to self-regulate. A very accessible and easy option is to just sit down and start noticing what's going on in your body. Where do you feel tightness? Which parts of your body are warm? Which parts of the body are cold? Where is your breath? Is your breath cold or warm? What is cold or warmer, in breath or out breath? Do you feel any emotions in your body? Because we feel our emotions in our bodies. So this moment of non-judgmental awareness of what's going on in our body, this can switch rest and digest mode as well. And it's better to do such practices many times throughout the day so that stress does not accumulate. And then you come back home with all that accumulated stress, and then it becomes really easy to calm down your nervous system and to self-regulate. There are numerous different coping strategies or methods to calm down and relax, and what works for you will be highly individual. You need to try and test, ask ChatGPT what it will suggest to you, choose yours, because I will not list everything in this video. The idea here is that it's best to calm down the nervous system through the body, because very often our logical brain is switched off at this moment. And a really cool thing is also to talk to yourself, to pay attention to your internal dialogue, to talk to yourself with a very gentle, in a very gentle way, aiming to support yourself, not to criticize or self-loathe, but talking to yourself with kindness, understanding, care, and support. as if your grandma would be talking to you, if you had a good grandma. One of my grandmas was really, really good, and I always imagine her talking to me at the time I'm stressed. So I try to internalize that soft, caring voice. The fourth reason we overeat: limiting beliefs and cognitive distortions. Hello CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Hello REBT, rational emotive behavioral therapy. Which thoughts I am talking about? For example, I cannot be satisfied if I do not eat dessert after dinner. And here, as a nutrition counselor, I have a lot of questions to you. Maybe some of them will resonate with you. If it is so, please write down in the comment section under the video. So first question: do you really need to be 100% satisfied at all times? What if you are not 100% satisfied? Can you live with this? Can you leave the table knowing that you are not 100% satisfied and just switch your mind to do something else? Just to be at peace with the idea that you will not ever be 100% satisfied. It's something like a myth. We as human beings, in our difficult lives, cannot be 100% satisfied all of the time. And this also relates to food. Second question here: can you be 100% satisfied if you are satisfied with food, but not satisfied with your behavior, with your results? Are we talking about full satisfaction here? Maybe it's worth finding a golden middle. Because I don't know about you, but for me, satisfaction cannot be complete if I'm not satisfied with myself. If I eat a cheesecake at night, I didn't need it, I overate, I may be 100% satisfied with my meal, but I will not be satisfied with myself. I will think, oh, again, I will gain weight, I will not feel good, I didn't have willpower, I didn't take care of myself, I now feel overloaded, I will not sleep well. And there are so many questions that can be really therapeutic and really change how you view the things. In my work with clients, with my typical clients who do not have clinical eating disorders, but just somewhere on the spectrum, they have poor relationships with food, a lack of control about food, dissatisfied with their body image. So these are my typical clients, and such cognitive interventions normally are very effective. Fifth reason we overeat at night is discomfort intolerance. We cannot sit with emotional or physical discomfort, with light emotional or physical discomfort, with light dissatisfaction. And it's not because we do not have willpower or we are so weak. Many people just don't know such term exists. Discomfort tolerance or distress tolerance. So sometimes we just need to sit with this desire to eat, to sit with the craving, to notice it, to face it, and to observe it. What's going on? And of course, it's not about tolerating any discomfort, because discomfort, emotional, physical, often signals about the fact that our needs are not met. We need to be very selective to which discomfort we are going to tolerate and which discomfort we are not going to tolerate. But I'm talking here about sustainable discomfort tolerance, about tolerating something that will help us to do better in the long term, something that is beneficial for us. Then it's worth tolerated light discomfort, of course, with self-compassion. I will film another video that will help you to understand what is discomfort tolerance and how to learn it. We all can do it. When discomfort tolerance is not the best thing, like sitting with discomfort of craving, when our craving is emotional, when we experience a difficult emotion, we do not want to face it, we want to run away from it. Very often that's a negative emotion directed at ourselves. It can be guilt and shame. They're normally the hardest to tolerate. So not to face this emotion, we run for food. Food is really good distraction. But we know that this is not good for us. And ignoring our emotions may mean that we are ignoring our needs. As I already gave an example, that we may come back home and feel tired. And if we ignore it, we will not satisfy our need in rest. And if we do it again and again and again, we will burn out. Or maybe we are sad and we do not want to accept that we are sad. So we will turn to food instead of calling a dear friend, family member, someone who will understand, someone who will support. So it's really useful to learn to cope with your emotions in a more sustainable way. To notice it, to name it, and then either to tolerate uncomfortable feelings or to act on them in your best interest. Or maybe change the way you are looking at it, reframe. And you need to understand what caused it and maybe act on it. So self-reflection is very important. First, it's important for quality of life. And second, it's specifically important for stopping overeating, because we often eat our emotions. This point is huge. This is very common. And again, there is nothing to be ashamed about. This is what I'm working with. So many people have it, have such problem. I had such problem, and it can be solved. It's not about lack of self-control or lack of willpower. It's about gaining skills and learning how to deal with difficult emotions, how to self-regulate. 7, lack of clear plan. For example, I plan that I come back home and I know that I have a piece of chicken in the fridge, some whole grain rice, and green beans, for example. And this is going to be my dinner. Certain amount, certain portion of this food. And then I come back home, put it all on the plate. I make sure it's all tasty and nice and warm and eat it. This alone can help. Compare this to coming back home, not having a plan, just going to eat anything. And normally we have a variety of food, very palatable food, and you make decisions with your tired mind, with your depleted willpower, and of course, to make wrong decisions. So sometimes it's just as simple as having a certain plan, and then if you cannot stick to this plan, then we can discuss why, what's going on. Maybe some of other 9 points can be relevant here. Only if you are an intuitive eater and never overeat, but then the topic of this video is not relevant to you because you do not overeat at night, then you can afford not planning and just going with the flow. If you know your body so well, if you self-regulate so well that you can have anything, anywhere, unplanned, and never have a problem with overeating. You will stop when you are just satisfied your hunger, you do not have emotional reasons to eat, and this is a perfect scenario. Then yes, you do not have to plan. And it flows into 8th point of why we overeat. We are disconnected with our bodies. I described a perfect scenario where we eat intuitively and never overeat, and this is normally a good food, nutritious, balanced meals. But if we are disconnected with our bodies, it's very hard to achieve such state. What do I mean by disconnection to the body? We just do not notice subtle signals from our body. And if we notice, these are sharp feelings, such as extreme fullness or extreme hunger, or hyperenergy, or zero energy when we're switching off with our Netflix on, for example, or YouTube. We do not notice these subtleties. We don't know how emotions feel in our bodies. And this is called interceptive awareness, and this can be developed. The ability to notice, to listen to your body and to hear your body, and notice really subtle signals from your body. This is again a really useful tool for the quality of life. Even if we forget about food and eating, just getting to know your body is so helpful. It helps us then to control our impulses, any impulses, not only food impulses. It helps us to make better decisions. It helps us to achieve a better quality of life, because our body tells us a lot. It gives us a lot information, useful information, so that you make better decisions in the moment. You act more adequately to the moment, more sustainably. You make fewer mistakes. And what do we want to achieve with interceptive awareness? We want to be in contact with our body all the time. When we talk to other people, when we eat, what do I feel? Constant attention at our bodies. Yes, doing 2 things at a time. Talking to people and being connected with your body. Eating and being connected with your body. Probably you know about the scale of hunger and satiety. So when you eat, you can use this scale and try to stop at 5 or 6 or wherever is the best for you, and not come to number 8 or 9. Many people just notice their fullness when they are at 8 or 9. And if they would have the skill developed, if they would be more attentive to their bodies, if they can tell the subtleties of signals, then they would naturally eat less. Again, this is not a cure-it-all, this is just one of the tools, but you may find it very useful. 9. Not knowing our physiology. How do we feel full? How do we know that we are full? Normally, when we eat, our stomach stretches. And this sends signals to our brain, and brain registers that we are full. Very often, we need around 20 seconds after meal for the signals to reach the brain, to really feel full. So try waiting for 20 minutes. If you still feel like you haven't finished your meal, you want something else, wait for 20 minutes. Maybe drink water, maybe drink some decaffeinated warm drink. Get distracted. In 20 minutes, you may notice that you don't need any more food. You're satisfied. You're full enough. And 10th, not being able to relax and have pleasure without food. Very often, people who struggle with relationships with food and overeating only find joy in food. There are no other joys in life. And sometimes, yes, the circumstances are so that food is only pleasure in life. But more often than not, this is something that we can change and find other pleasures. Again, think, maybe you lack creativity. Maybe you lack warmth and contact with other people. What is in your power to change? We need to let go of what we cannot change and act on what we can change, how we improve our life, how we can get more joy in life. What makes you happy? What makes you relaxed? And to find these sources of joy, you need to experiment, to try different things, to make mistakes. So find yours. And a bonus advice, sometimes it can be as simple as having just half of the fruit when you feel like, I want something else, I want something sweet. Many clients say that half of the fruit is enough for them, they're satisfied, all is good, and they do not need to have an extra cookie or a piece of cheesecake. I hope this was useful. Please let me know in the comments what was more relevant to you, less relevant to you. Ask any questions, I will reply. Pay attention at the useful links below this video, and if you want a short conspect of this video so that you always have it in front of your eyes and choose what's relevant to you when you next want to eat more at dinner, about to binge maybe, or eat extra food that you know you don't really need, then you can go through all these points and find what will be helpful for you at the moment. Also, I would like to invite you for personal consultations. If you have poor relationships with food or your body and you would like to lose weight or to achieve healthy eating behavior. See you soon!